Welcome to American Reacts. In this video, we're going to be reacting to 5 reasons you shouldn't mess with the USA. Let's get into it.
The collapse of the Soviet Union in the early 90s left the United States as the sole superpower in the world, and it's never looked back. In all aspects of the world, the United States is indeed a superpower, especially when it comes to its military might, which is unsurpassable in its strength, technological superiority, operational capabilities, and power projection across the
Oh yeah, trillion-dollar military budget.
globe. In this video, we'll take a look at the 5 top reasons why you wouldn't want to go against the US military establishment. The United States Air Force is the strongest in the world, not only in the number of operational aircraft, but also in technological superiority. The country currently operates a total of over 15,000 military aircraft, combining all the branches of the military service, including the US Navy, US Army, Coast Guard, and the US Marines. As of 20...
That's right, it's not just the Air Force, but the Navy also has an Air Force, and the Marines has an Air Force. I believe those are the 3 largest air forces in the world. The US Air Force, the Marine Air Force, and the Army? Or maybe it's the Navy. Navy, Army. I don't know. There's a lot of planes, man.
2017, the US Air Force alone has a fleet of over 5,300 aircraft, 406 intercontinental ballistic missiles, and 170 military satellites, greater than any other country in the world. The USA has the largest number of stealth aircraft designed to be silent killers and untrackable by the radar defense systems of most countries.
Yeah, I believe the F-22 is the size of a bumblebee on the radar, and that's because of its design. And the F-47 is supposed to be even smaller and harder to detect on the radar, so that'll be interesting to see when it finally becomes public.
Countries in the world. Some of these stealth aircraft include air superiority fighters, such as the F-22 Raptor and the F-35 Joint.
Yeah, this is awesome because we don't sell the F-22 to any other countries, but we do sell the F-35. But the F-22 is so good that we keep it for ourselves.
Strike fighter, heavy bombers such as the B-2 Spirit. In fact, the United States pioneered this technology in the 1980s with the introduction of the F-117 Nighthawk stealth attack aircraft. Stealth aircraft are designed to avoid detection using a variety of
Man, look at that plane. That's so beautiful. That's insane. This thing always blows my mind, you know? I like seeing other Europeans react to this, and it definitely does look like a spaceship as far as I'm concerned.
technologies that reduce radar reflection from ground, sea, or air-based radar antennas, thereby reducing its radar cross-section, or RCS. This revolutionary technology allows a 5th-generation aircraft, such as the F-22 Raptor, with a max takeoff weight of 83,500 pounds, to have a
Man, that's such a beautiful jet. Look at that thing.
radar cross-section of just 0.0001 meters squared, about the size of a bumblebee. What's more insane is that the massive B-2 bomber also has the same radar cross-section as the F-22 Raptor. Thus, it becomes extremely difficult to track stealth aircraft, even if the enemy...
Isn't that crazy? And I believe that, you know, if I'm not mistaken, the B-2 has such a small radar cross-section because it doesn't have any vertical wings in the back, whereas, like, the F-22 has these vertical wings, and that makes it a lot easier for radar wavelengths to bounce off, you know, hit this and then bounce back down, whereas if there was nothing here, it wouldn't reflect as easy on the radar. So if it didn't have these vertical wings, this thing would be even harder to detect.
Also extremely difficult to track stealth aircraft. Even if the enemy spots them on their radar scopes, it's a whole other story to successfully track them and register a missile kill. The whole idea behind this technology is to break the chain in which a conventional surface-to-air missile defense system works. It's the same reason countries like China and Russia are also hard at developing their own stealth fighter, the Chengdu J-20 and the Sukhoi Su.
I know I've definitely seen the Su-57 flying around, and I don't think I've seen a few videos of the J-20, but I wonder how well they work in combat.
Su-57.
I've seen more videos of the Su-57, and especially like air shows. I've seen it like air shows with the F-35 and F-22, whereas I don't think I've seen the J-20 alongside the F-22 or F-35 or the Su-50.
Respectively.
Seven,
These aircraft will allow the
Su-57.
US Air Force to assert its air superiority over any battlefield of the future. And we all know that control of these skies is the biggest decider in any war. The next reason why any country going to war with the US military should think twice is because of the strength of the US Navy and its dominance over the world's ocean, especially the Navy's supercarriers. The US Navy currently operates.
Oh yeah, I have a friend, or had a coworker that I worked with, and he was a Navy vet, and he would talk about how they would be patrolling the oceans, and they'd pass by a Chinese Navy ship. Everybody get to their stations, and everyone on each ship would look at each other as they passed by.
11 nuclear-powered Nimitz-class supercarriers, which is the largest aircraft carrier fleet in the world. The only navy that can come close in terms of technological advancement is probably the Royal Navy of the United Kingdom, but they only have 2 operational carriers. The Nimitz class of carriers
Honestly, at this point, I think it's China that'd be number 2.
has a displacement of over 100,000 tons and can carry a complement of up to 70 aircraft. They're literally a floating small town in the ocean with its own airport. The Nimitz-class carriers in themselves are extremely potent offensive weapons, but the way they operate in what is called the carrier strike groups makes these ships even more deadly. A carrier seldom deploys alone. There are always a fleet of surface and underwater assets surrounding them and forming a strike group. These include guided missile cruisers, a destroyer squadron, attack submarines, and other support vessels. Together, they
Overwhelming firepower.
project the power of the carrier and at the center of the group forward towards the enemy. While the carrier is carrying out its offensive role with the use of its air wing, the other ships are responsible to protect its flanks against any enemy attack. This combination of offensive and defensive strategy makes the US carrier strike group almost impenetrable. The United States Navy maintains 9 such carrier strike groups, 8 of which are based in the United States and 1 that's forward deployed to Japan. For over 50 years, this has been the principal element of US power protection, and the Nimitz class of supercarriers are at the center of it all. Despite this, the US is currently in the process of developing a new class of carriers called the Gerald R. Ford class, intended to replace the Nimitz class ships. This new supercarrier will be even more technologically advanced and is expected to continue US dominance of the oceans well into the late 21st century. The third reason why you shouldn't fight the US military is their massive stockpile of nuclear and conventional intercontinental ballistic missiles, or
Oh yeah, got lots of missile spots everywhere. Here in the where I live, even in Alaska, it's an extremely strategic spot because at our closest point, we're 2 miles away from Russia. We're extremely close to Russia, and so this state is littered with Air Force bases and hidden artillery places.
ICBMs. The ICBM plays the role of the land leg in the US nuclear triad, along with the Trident submarine-launched ballistic missile SLBM and nuclear warheads carried on long-range strategic bombers. ICBMs are launched from ground-based missile silos, achieving high suborbital spaceflight, approximately 1,000 miles above the surface of the Earth. The body of the missile then separates from the warhead, which re-enters the atmosphere and free falls to the assigned target at hypersonic speeds. The US military currently operates 400 ICBMs from its base in Wyoming, Montana, and North Dakota. The LGM-30
And having them there,
from its base in Wyoming.
these states are literally in the middle of the continent of the North America, because Canada's right up here. These would be hard to get to. You would definitely wouldn't be able to reach this on foot. I don't think anybody's going to be able to. If somebody tried to invade the U.S., I don't think it would happen. You would have to land somewhere, establish a base, and then somehow create a supply chain. And if you're trucking a lot of stuff over the ocean, that's a lot of opportunity to break that supply chain.
Montana, and North Dakota. The LGM-30G Minuteman III is the only type of ICBM that is currently operational in the US. The Minuteman III family of ICBMs were first developed in the 1960s as a response to.
And the Minuteman is actually named after what they would call the militiamen back in the day, back in the early times of this country. They were known as the Minutemen because they would be ready in a minute's notice.
To the Soviet nuclear threat. Throughout the Cold War and beyond, these missiles have undergone constant modernization. In the last decade alone, the US military has undertaken $7 billion worth of upgrades. The rocket propulsion engines, the propellants used, the guidance system, and even the flight control surfaces have all been refurbished. The upgraded missiles are completely different from its 1960s counterparts, except for the shell. These state-of-the-art improvements and modernization programs have kept the Minuteman III system operational for over 50 years with improved reliability that supports the missile's remarkable 99% alert rate. The latest versions of the missiles have a range of over 8,000 miles, which is greater than the diameter of the Earth at 7,917.5 miles. They can carry multiple 330 kiloton nuclear warheads, which is 20 times greater than the bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Not only that, each of these warheads can be assigned to different targets independently. The technology is called Multiple Independently Targetable Re-Entry Vehicle, or MIRV, and was first developed for the Minuteman III family of missiles. So any country messing with the United States will have to deal with this awesome arsenal of firepower, which can be launched at a moment's notice. If it weren't the ICBMs or the stealth fighters raining fire down on you, it would be precision-guided munitions, or better known as smart bombs or PGMs instead. This is another big reason why not messing with the US military is a good idea. All branches of the US military use smart bombs in some forms or the other. These weapon systems are designed to be precise and hit a...
Man, even as an American, it blows my mind that we have all this precision technology and just an immense amount of warfare technology. It also makes me, it does make me feel proud, and it's pretty nice.
Specific target with maximum efficiency. These bombs...
Some people may not like it, but I love it.
...are so effective that during the First Gulf War, PGMs comprised only 9% of weapons fired, but accounted for 75% of all successful hits. Since then, for the US military at least, the days of normal artillery shells and unguided bombs are long gone. Nowadays, the military uses PGMs from air, ground, and sea. Precision-guided munitions come in various forms and use different kinds of technologies to achieve...
And it's wild too, just like with the advancements of delivery systems, like Anduril's Roadrunner, it's AI operated. If it calculates it's going to miss the target, instead of, flying off, hitting something random and blowing up, or just blowing up in the air because it misses the target, it'll fly back, land back at home base, and then it can be reused.
Precise hits. A large majority of PGMs use the Global Positioning System, or GPS, of satellites to guide their trajectory to target. However, sometimes this becomes a problem, as GPS coverage is not always reliably available everywhere across the globe, or bad weather conditions can hinder operations.
But GPS reliability is getting better and better with the more satellites we launch.
Thus, the Office of Naval Research, the Naval Surface Warfare Center, and the Army Research Laboratory have all coordinated to develop the first ever artillery-fired smart munition that will not use GPS guidance. The project is known as Moving Target Artillery Round, or MTAR for short. The MTAR shell can be guided onto stationary as well as moving targets in both land and sea, using a combination of guidance technology. The best part is that these shells can be fired from the existing M777A2 155mm towed howitzer and the M109A7 Paladin Integrated Management self-propelled 155mm artillery systems already in use by the US military. The shells will also feature an extended range of 40...
That's awesome. I like seeing adaptability like that, where we can use these older guns and put newer ammunition in them that's more advanced.
...to 60 miles, using rocket boosters to propel them. Once finished, it will afford the US military another potent weapon system that outclasses others around the world. Lastly, the fifth and final reason why you shouldn't fight the US military is drones. We're all familiar with...
Oh yeah, and the drone technology is getting crazy. Like the Loyal Wingman for the F-47, they're full-on jets that are powered by AI. So they can do death missions, If they have to blow up to get the target, they will blow up, rather than having a real live human pilot who they're going to avoid risky maneuvers like that to save their life, and so we don't lose pilots. So I'm excited to see the invention or the jets, the Loyal Wingman AI powered jets brought to the battlefield and really see them tested out. I think it would be interesting to kind of see some tests and see what they can kind of do.
What an unmanned aerial vehicle or drone is and what it's supposed to do. But in recent years, the usability of UAVs are steadily increasing to encompass all spheres of military operations, and the US military is the pioneering spirit behind it. At first, used only for surveillance missions, drones were quickly weaponized after the 9/11 attacks and have been extensively used by the US military in the war against terror as an offensive weapon platform. It's forecasted that over the next decades, the US is in line to purchase over 1,000 combat drones of various classifications. Some of them, like the Lockheed Martin RQ-170 Sentinel and the Boeing MQ-25 Stingray, are already in the final stages of development. And once finished, will
And it didn't touch on it.
provide the US military with
Those two didn't win. The Lockheed Martin and the Boeing. Anduril won, which is a newer, smaller company created by the guy Lucky Palmer that invented the Oculus Rift. Turns out he loves America, and he is developing all sorts of AI-powered weapons. He's the one that developed the AI-powered Loyal Wingman that is supposed to be paired with the F-47. So, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see these faster, more agile, smarter UAVs, unmanned aircraft, on the battlefield and kind of see what they can do. Like I said, I really want to see some trial tests by them and see them perform maneuvers. What's going to be cool is they can pull more Gs than a human can withstand. So they can turn harder, they can go faster, they can do just crazier stuff, and it's going to be very interesting.
state-of-the-art platforms capable of multi-role operations, ranging from attack missions to aerial refueling. Drone technology has reached such heights today that a single UAV can loiter miles above the surface of the Earth for hours, waiting for the target to show its head and sticking with impunity. This capability will allow all the services under the US military to reduce its dependency on manned platforms, thereby reducing the risks during future combat operations. These 5 weapon systems make the US military extremely dangerous for any adversary looking to get into a conflict with them. In a conventional warfare setting, it's almost impossible to beat the US military machine. That's why modern enemies of the United States are employing more and more asymmetric warfare strategies against the mighty US military. Despite that, the US military juggernaut is hands down the most powerful military complex in the world today, and probably will be for decades to come. That's all we have for you today, folks. Thanks for sticking around till the end. If you liked the video and want to stay up to date on cool military stuff like this, then click the subscribe button and also click the notification bell, and you'll be the first to know the next time we release a video. Thanks for watching.
That was a good watch. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know what you think about America's military dominance. As an American, I, for one, love it. I love having a great unfair advantage. I'm not trying to be fair when it comes to warfare. I would rather have the unfair advantage. The important part is to not be brutal. But an unfair advantage is exactly what I want, because it will ensure we don't lose. But that's my opinion. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. If you liked the video, leave it a thumbs up and subscribe to help support the channel for free. And if you want to watch the original video we reacted to, Destiny is the name of the channel. The description or the link to this video will be in the description below. We'll catch you guys in the next one.